So yes, if you ask me whether I went through postpartum depression, of course, like I said, I did. Sarah's face and I was like, she is the reason I want to be here. I can't sit here and say, oh no, I was very confident. No, I wasn't. I was completely broken. Oh my God, her husband is doing so well and look at how he's looking. He's looking like $1,000,000. But look at the wife. Oh my God, what happened to her? And yes, I moved to Kolkata for love because I wanted to get married. So I was telling Baris, "Tatari chala," and I was screaming at him, and he also understood that the time had come for mommy. And why is it that a strong woman needs to seek help?
Welcome to the latest episode of my podcast Straight Up with Shree. Today I have a very, very special guest on my show, and I'm not telling you why she's special. When you have a woman you admire, when you sit next to a woman who has led a very similar life journey in certain aspects of her life, when you meet a mother who's a lioness and a daughter who's a lioness too, and an entrepreneur who's quote unquote the slay queen, you will know then that I'm privileged to have Nilanjanaa on my show. Welcome, Nilanjanaa, and I hope you have a great hour on Straight Up with Shree.
First of all, thank you so much for having me here. And oh my God, the way you spoke about me, this introduction is so amazing, and it just made me smile. I couldn't stop smiling.
That's good. It's a good start.
Yeah, it's a good start.
A lot can happen over a smile.
Yes.
Let's just put it like that. Well, Nilanjanaa is a proud, hardworking, multitasking mother. And, the reason I sort of stress on this is because, we often talk about Ghar Ki Lakshmi, and Lokhi Pujo for us in the state of Bengal is round the corner. I'm going to start with the journey of our mothers, Nilanjanaa, because very prophetically, we came close at a time when we were grieving, or when we are grieving. I think grief is so complex, it's so layered, it doesn't really have an address or a timeline, right? You, over the demise of your mother, the legendary Anjana Bhomik, the actor, the superstar, who came from such a humble small town, and we'll talk about that. I think Nilanjanaa, if I may say so myself, gets a lot of grit from her mother, the slay queen syndrome from Mashima. And I, of course, have said this on my show at a time when it's just been about a month that I have lost Ma to a terrible illness which both of us have faced, which is a kidney failure. Tell us about Mashima. Tell us about your mom, because she was a working mother just like you are, and an actor's life is not easy, especially a female actor's.
Right. So to address the first thing that you touched upon, Ghar Ki Lakshmi, okay? So mummy started, I think, at a very young age. She became the support system for her family. She came from very humble beginnings, and she came from Kuch Bihar.
Okay.
They were about 6 sisters and 3 brothers. That was a really big family. And her father was always, on an outdoor. He was a medical representative. So finally, when she came to Kolkata and she started work with actually senior PC Shorkar in the troupe.
Right.
And then ek kore shobai ke bhai boneদের নিয়ে এলো, and then she made her foray into Bengali movies and all of that. So that is Ghar Ki Lakshmi for me.
Absolutely.
That, she became the man of the family.
Quote unquote.
Yes, quote
Yeah,
unquote.
yeah,
And I remember her telling me time and again that the last words her father said to her, because at that point of time, I think only mummy's older sister was married, and arekjon je chilo tar biye hoye gechilo. There were so many siblings to look after, and he said,
To
what is going
nurture.
to nurture? And they were all of that marriageable age. They were getting there. Some of them were in college, and she said, "Ami tomar chele baba." She said that to him. And I'm promising you that I'll make sure that everybody gets married and settled in life. And that's exactly what she did. So she got all of them married, and she was the last one to marry.
Okay.
Yeah, she married almost when she was 29. And
Which is old by
very
those
old.
standards.
Yes. The minute she got married, so I asked her that, why did you stop working, after marriage? Was it Papa telling you that, don't get married, or like don't work after marriage?
Yeah.
And she said, no, it was not that. So I said, then tell me what exactly happened. So she said that Ma, jake main Ma boltam, like mummy's mother, I would call her Ma.
Right.
and I was very close to her. So I was born in Kolkata, and mummy came back from she was doing a natok, I think, with Soumitra Jethu at that point of time. And she came back late, Arki Ratte Bela and everything. And I was in Ma's Kole. And mummy just did I amar kache আর আমি নাকি তখন মুখ ঘুরিয়ে নিয়েছিলাম and you know she said that was it for me. She said আমার মেয়ে আমাকে দেখে মুখ ঘুরিয়ে নিয়েছে হ্যাঁ so she said I am not going back to work.
Right.
And she stopped completely. She didn't work at all. The only time later she worked, I think, was when we did this tour of the US and UK about, I think, 25 years ago, which had Dijan Bandyopadhyay, Chino Jethu,
Right.
Oluka auntie, and all of us had done, you know, natok korechilam. So that was it. So mummy, of course, for me is the quintessential Lakshmi or Lokhi for her family and for our family as well.
How did you make your foray into television? Also, you know, into modeling, into television. How did that happen? I mean, was acting something which you naturally gravitated towards because of Ma? I mean, obviously, when you see your mother being an actor, some part of her career you've been a witness to, it's almost like a natural progression. Was it because of that, or were you discovered accidentally, like a lot of actors claim? How did it happen?
So firstly, we didn't, like Chandana and I didn't know that mummy is Anjana Bhomik.
Really?
Yeah, for the longest time we didn't see any albums or anything because she was a regular stay-at-home mom.
Right.
She would drive to school and pick us up.
Right.
We would have our meals together. She's the one who introduced us to fish finger and tartar sauce.
Okay.
And you know, she's done all of that with
Yeah.
us. So we've never known. Only when we would come to Kolkata airport and people would come and take autographs, or I had some Bengali friends and their mothers would be like, hey, Anjana Bhomik, Anjana Bhomik. So I was like, Mummy, why do they say like this? Then slowly it dawned upon me as we grew up that she has been such a great actress and all.
Okay.
So she just kept that away. I
Yeah.
mean, Khari তখন fish market chilo, and there was everyone going there from Basu Chatterjee to Rishikesh Mukherjee to Mummy. They would all the Bengalis
Flock to the Macher
Macher Bazaar, okhane, you know, it was like that.
Yeah.
And though I do remember that childhoods were spent in Rishikesh Mukherjee's house, but I have no recollection of who these people were.
Right.
Because it was so choto tokhon,
Yeah.
and they treated us like family. So I
Yeah.
thought, acha jerokom adda hoy family orokomi. But they were such legends. Little did I know.
Of course. So
you know?
was your mom.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
Which is why the bonding probably.
Correct.
The bonhomie.
Correct.
Yeah.
And also coming back to the fact that whether I wanted to be an actor, no. I was a bookworm. I was a gold medalist in school and in college. You won't believe this. Till class 12, when I was in college, I did not go to the canteen because I was so scared of going to the canteen.
Okay.
And finally, when I went in the first year of senior college, I went into the canteen. And there were these seniors there, you know, and these boys came and say, hey, fresher air and all that. So and I got so scared because me and my other two friends, and I was like completely, mane, itna lamba salwar
Lokhi mein.
kameez. Yeah, I used to take tiffin from home. Okay. We used to
Ticking all the boxes.
ticking all the boxes and
Yeah.
in fact, you know, my friend Salma and me, we would change two buses. So from Juhu to Mithibai College, from where our house was, Santa Cruz to Mithibai College, was a direct ticket would cost us 3.5 rupees. Bus, ঠিক আছে? And if we changed two buses, then it would be 3 rupees.
Right.
ठीक है? So what would we do? We would change two buses. We would keep saving that 50 paisa because end of the week we would go and have our idli sambar.
Oh, nice.
You know, so we would do that. It was so
Yeah.
much fun to save money there. So these girls, you know, so those my school boys were there. Thankfully, some of them, all the backbenchers, by the way, they all came and helped. Hey, yaar, no, yaar, she's not a fresher, yaar. I mean, she's. Like, we call canteen में क्यों नहीं देखा फिर उसको पहले नहीं नहीं हमरा
Taragi, you had never been?
No.
Wow.
I was so scared to go to the canteen, you know. And Mithibai is a fabulous college, and
course,
it's completely buzzing, you know.
Iconic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, from the dance team to the drama team, you name it, and we had it, or the fashion show team, you know. So the dance team had Bosco and Caesar.
Right. The choreographers.
Yes,
Yeah.
and very close friends of
Yeah.
mine. And the drama team had Ninad Kamath, Shreyas Talpade, Vivek Oberoi. I'm missing out on a lot of names, but all these guys
That's
were
what I
the
said.
drama
Yeah,
team,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah.
And that's when I realized that there is also a world outside the classroom. And I realized that there was this room number 3 in Mithibai College, which is the drama room
Okay.
or the rehearsal room and all that. And one of my friends, Rashmi, who's now working with one of the top OTT platforms. She pushed me saying, "Jana, ek baar yaar, audition chal raha hai, fashion show ka. They're looking for tall girls. They came scouting in every class. Why can't you go?" I said, "You're mad. I'm going to work for a fashion show." And she pushed me into it, and that's how it started.
Okay.
So
you would like, she kind of just gave you that prod.
pushed. Yeah. She and the other two friends, we were very, very simple people. Like nobody even looked at us. Neither me nor Rashmi or Ruta or Salma. Four of us were like the simplest. You know, we would get our tiffins, sit and eat and studies and notes, and after college, thakchi library te boshe achi orokom. So the minute I went on stage, for them it was a moment of pride. You're like, "Hamari friend hai," you know.
Stage
They
pe
say,
walk kareenge. Oh wow.
So it went like that, and then I went from strength to strength. Inter-college fashion shows happened, and you know, as a college we would go together. You know, the dance team, the drama team, and the fashion show team, and competing with all the other colleges. I remember John Abraham was from Sydenham.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so he would compete with our college from Michibai.
Right.
And our choreographer was Harsh Bhandari, who's of course now in a very, he's with Republic TV right now and all. And he used to be the choreographer. And oh my God, I've seen insane amounts of fights and all, you know, like booing, you know, when our college is going on stage or they're just coming on stage. Good old days.
Yeah.
So that is where I got scouted for Hip Hip Hurray. You know?
What an iconic, you know. So tell us about Hip Hip Hurray. I mean, it was cult.
It was. And I don't think any of us knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
You know,
how
what we
big
were
it's going to
going
get.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So audition happened at UTV office and all that and all. Then they called us back, said, okay. So we had a workshop. You know, there was this railway quarters. वहाँ पे बहुत बड़ा एक rehearsal hall होता है. तो वहाँ पे they said we are going to have a 15-day workshop था. Yeah, I don't even remember 1 month. I don't remember clearly. It was so long ago, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And now 26th year actually. And a bunch of kids, we all met for the first time. And I had just passed out of college. Nobody was told which role they are going to play.
Oh.
Yeah. So for example, you and me, so my character was Mona Joshi. So Shree was also doing Mona Joshi, Nilanjanaa was also doing Mona Joshi. There were other 2-3 girls who were also doing Mona Joshi.
Okay.
And everybody had to do. So today you're Mona Joshi, okay, no, tomorrow you play Alisha, which is another character.
Another character.
Today you are Rafe, tomorrow you play Raghav. You know, and they would keep changing, flipping it. And we did some amazing exercises like, you know, trust exercises, theatre workshops and everything. And because we had such great mentors like Vinay Pathak and Nupur Asthana. So when I wrote the show and Nupur directed it, they co-wrote it.
Which is why it was so sensitive.
So till the day we were going for shoot, like say tomorrow is a shoot, I didn't know which part I was playing. Because they didn't want anyone to believe that, oh, I have this part, oh, I have that part. And even if it is that you are standing, the biggest lesson in humility we learned on the sets of Hip Hip Hurray is that if it's Shree story, for example, we all become the, you know, backup. You know, don't expect yourself to be in the forefront all the time.
All the time, yeah.
You know, and even if you don't have a single line in an episode, don't come and tell me about it because Nupur was very strict about it. We drove her and Vinay mad anyway. Ki mera story kab aayega? You know, everybody would be like that. Eager, constantly. So we did a lot of firsts we did, you know, with the Hip Hip Hurray. And it was our first TV project for a lot of kids. And so many of us bought cars. We bought things for ourselves. We would have breakfast together, you know, we would drive together. So it was fun because Shah Rukh, who played Cyrus, he lived in Andheri, I lived in Juhu, and a couple of friends. So he would pick us up, right, ek karke, because he had a car. But the deal was, everybody had to pay for the fuel. So even if it was like 20 rupees you're paying, 20 rupees I'm paying, we would do that because 100 rupees conveyance we would get in a day. From the production, but still you're saving money, no? Even if you're paying 20 rupees, that means 80 rupees are saving. So we did these little things and saved money.
That's
and then
adulting actually.
We didn't realize.
You didn't realize.
Yes.
It happened very sort of, you know, inconspicuously.
And very organically because, you know, we said, Acha, we'll save money. Fir Sunday ko we'll have breakfast here. You know, there was a place called Just Around the Corner.
Yes, of course.
So we would go there for breakfast and go to Candies and all these places. So great memories. We took trips to Goa together. And even recently, this year, in fact, a couple of months ago when I was in Bombay, I met up with them.
How lovely, like a reunion of sorts.
Yes.
How wonderful. And how far you all have all come in your life, you know, to look
Yes,
back on those
yes.
days. It's almost like a school or a college alumnus, you know, when you
Correct,
meet, you're like, oh my God,
correct.
we were real kids then.
And we still have a WhatsApp group, and
Really?
we still
That's
have it,
amazing.
and everything happening in everyone's life is updated.
Oh,
You know,
that's
so
lovely.
we're there for each other.
To have
even
that camaraderie, I think it's so important to have friends who hold space.
Yes.
You know, despite the distance, the time gaps, everything. Um, from Bombay, from being a Bombay girl, a Juhu girl, a Mithibai girl, the hip hip hooray girl, to life in Kolkata. It must have been quite a different turn. And you took that plunge. I'm using my words consciously because you know, you made a decision guided by your heart, like so many women. You know, we follow the man, we go where our heart decides. So you were actually at the height of your career. I mean, had you stuck on in Bombay, you know, runway aside, you would have really probably been a film star by now, like your mom. You know, maybe life would have taken that road for you. When you came to Calcutta, how was it? Because marriage brought you here, and very soon, within a year, you became a new mom. And you know, there are things, you know, we often glorify about star wives because we think, oh, you know, look at these entitled, privileged women, they're having children, they have nannies. Nobody realizes that it's a woman's body. And your body changes, there's postpartum depression, women kill themselves sometimes out of it, they never recover. I've had my grandmother's own sister never recover from postpartum depression. She just remained in that frozen state forever till she died, bedbound almost. How was it for you? You know, these are things which we don't know and we take for granted and we judge as women.
No one's asked me these questions. I'm so glad that we're having this conversation because this is like really keeping it real. So going back to your first question, yes, I moved to Kolkata for love because I wanted to get married, and it was not really a difficult decision because I've seen my mom do the same.
Exactly.
You know, so mummy also left everything and moved to Bombay from the life that she had in Kolkata, the star status that she had, and she became a simple housewife. For me, it was the opposite. For me, it was like, you know, coming to Kolkata and adjusting to Kolkata. Because, see, I love Kolkata since my childhood. Every summer holiday that I would come to Kolkata, you know, ded mashe chutti thakto amader, and mummy would make sure every time, Calcutta, yeah, we are here. And it was a joke in school. The teacher would ask us, na, ki, okay, children, who went where? And everybody would put up their hands. Before I could put up my hand, ha, ma'am, we know teacher. Nilanjanaa went to Kolkata. So it was Calcutta then. So that was a standing joke.
Yeah.
But I would cry so much every time I went back from Kolkata because I loved it.
You got attached.
Yes, all my mashis, mama,
cousins.
and ma was here, you know, like mummy's ma, like, you know, my ma.
Dida.
But I used to call her ma,
Ma.
like, so she was
Correct.
my ma.
Yeah.
So I would howl and cry so much that, you know, I was very attached to Kolkata. So when I made the switch and decided that, right, I want to now do this. After I got married, immediately I got a call for a very big show in television in Bombay. And the producer was very candid and said, listen, you can just shoot Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you can go. You can go back. So I spoke to mummy and I said, what do I do? So mummy said, see, you've just got married. And long distance relationships anyway don't work. That's her old school belief.
Practical. No, it's the practical.
Yeah. So she said that, no, you made a choice. You moved. And at that point of time when I decided also to marry, my parents are very clear that, you know, listen, you have a full-fledged career here. You have your house here. And I bought my own flat. I bought my own car. Oh, that's another story. My father would refuse to give me any money, even my own earnings. I used to get damn angry with them. I said, what is this? Yeah, this is my money. You know, why are you giving it to me?
But he would manage it for you.
No, so I have never grown up with the concept of pocket money, and nor do my children know what pocket money is. So he said, what do you need? You need this? Acha, you want for makeup? This money? He would keep giving. My money only. So finally, I bought the first thing was I bought a car on EMI.
How lovely.
And he said that after this you should buy a flat. You should be debt free. He's always told me that, and it's a very middle class way to look at it. But that is how we've been brought up. Je ekta dhar shod karo, tarpore tumi arekta dhar niyo. And that's when I took the loan for my flat. And the bank said, you have to make a down payment. And I was like, oh my God, down payment, where will I get? So I said, Papa, just give me some money and all that. So he gave me 5 lakhs. At that point of time, like 30
it was a lot.
So I said, 5 lakhs, thank you. And he said, why are you thanking me? I said, no, because you gave me the money. He said, no, it's all your money. He invested it right.
He had invested it right, yeah.
So that was how.
God bless our dads, really.
Yeah, seriously, God bless our dads.
God bless our dads.
He made us do very simple things like, go and withdraw 100 rupees from the bank. Go and deposit a check in the bank. But these
He's training you up. He's armoring you, actually.
Yes, and I think these are life skills.
Absolutely.
Which my father and my mother taught me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no one teaches you this. I wish they had that in school.
Right.
That every child should be taught probably to run the machine and dryer and make a meal or just be self-sufficient.
And both sexes.
Both sexes, yes.
Whatever your binary might be, everyone should be taught this.
Yeah. So that.
So you bought your flat.
So I bought my flat.
Oh, lovely.
I bought my own flat and
How
my
old
car.
were you then?
See, I was, I think, around 27.
So you were a slay princess from the word go. I think so.
Coming back to your question of when I moved to Kolkata, it was very difficult because though I had my mashis and my cousins and everybody, but everybody's lives, so many of them had, moved abroad, and I couldn't make any friends here, honestly. So did I fail at making friends? I questioned myself, and even today I do. But my deepest bonding has been with my school friends and some of my college friends and hip hip hooray, of course. It was a very difficult phase for me at that point of time because, Mummy and Papa were in Bombay. I was alone in this flat. And, he was away shooting on outdoors and everything. I really didn't know what to do, and very lonely, extremely lonely. So I would keep coming back. Every 3 months I would come to Bombay and, I said, I will not even cut my hair in Calcutta. I will not even color my hair. I just wanted to keep connecting to Bombay.
And you're used to certain places,
My mother said to me that if you keep coming like this, how are you going to set up home? So I said, why, you don't want me to come and this is that. And, I got angry. Obhiman. See, it's your house. You can come whenever you want to. But when you set up home staying there. Like I did.
That's your home.
That's your home.
Sanctuary.
Yes. And immediately, I think after marriage, because I had Sarah.
Yes.
And thank God I had watched Brooke Shields on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Where she spoke about postpartum depression and how she drove her car with the baby in the back seat into a wall.
Yes.
And I was like, does this even happen, And I was not pregnant, then I had watched this episode long ago. And when I had Sarah, I realized that I was going through it and no one addresses it. So see, obviously your hormones go all over the place, right? Because once you conceive, once you have the baby, you're like on very high on hormones and suddenly there's a drop. It's like, like you go on a roller coaster and like you go up and you just drop down completely.
Plummeting.
Absolutely. So emotionally, physically, all of it, when you're feeding your baby, see, people don't realize that, I was also a first-time mother.
Exactly.
I was also learning on the job, so it was very difficult. It was not easy at all. I would say with Zara, it was far more easier.
Yeah. You had match practice.
Yes, I had.
Yeah.
And I also felt that, okay, some things left undone is okay, chalega. But
you're not like pushing yourself.
Yes, and I was pushing myself. And, I was alone. Only Mummy used to be there. And, he was away at shoot or outdoor or whatever. So primarily, Mummy is the one who was there with me.
She was an anchor.
Yeah, she was an anchor. And she has just taught me everything about, like caregiving, parenting. Ki khabar khabe, aajke ye juice ta khabe, introducing meals.
Yeah, the nitty-gritties. Yeah.
All of it.
Nilanjanaa, there's another aspect of being a new mother and being a mother. And of course, now we are in an age when a lot of star moms or star wives are yummy mummies. They're all making a comeback on reality shows as judges, or they're, acting in films, or, they're endorsing brands. But like, we're getting real here, down and dirty, as they say. Nobody really talks about the emotional changes which in a way manifest in the physical changes, right? So tell us about that phase, the nights of loneliness or those moments of vulnerability.
So yes, if you ask me whether I went through postpartum depression, of course, like I said, I did. And how did I combat that? Thank God Mummy was with me. And
did she know?
She did not know postpartum depression as such, but she said that irkom hoy. You feel very overwhelmed and you've just become a mother and, baby waking up in the night and you have to constantly, you're not getting sleep. So she used to keep telling me, "Jokon bacha ghumabe, tokon tumiyo ghumabe, rest karo." Don't go
Practical.
and don't do any other work that time. So she was doing her best and helping me, also making sure that I eat healthy food and all. But I was getting so overwhelmed. There were times at night that, I would just sit and cry, and I would just feel so upset and lonely. But I would just look at Sarah's face and I was like, she is the reason I want to be here, and she's brought me motherhood. So I had that for Sarah constantly. But having said that, of course I binge ate, yeah. I did to combat
it. Is a common,
totally.
It's like a catch-22 effect.
Correct,
if
of
you may
course I
call
did.
it
And
so.
then I remember I used to love my Nutella. I used to have like jars of Nutella and chips and Thumbs Up, and that was my junk, basically junk. And now of course completely off Thumbs Up and completely off Nutella and all that. But see,
and
that
it's
is
showing.
the machinery has been maintained.
Yes, well, it's been maintained well. If I may add.
So see, listen, I put on weight, after my pregnancy. So what? Most women do. All women do,
Yeah.
And I was eating, a lot of food also, which was very fattening in the sense they give you তখন সেলাই শুকানোর জন্য ঘি দেয়, মাখন দেয়, অনেক কিছু দেয় আর কি খাওয়ার জন্য. So you obviously gained weight. And then again, I lost weight also. And I remember doing a movie called Amra, which was Moinak Bhomik's debut film. So there again, I got a lot of praise. Wow, she's lost so much weight and everything. But I didn't understand this state of mind. I'm like, okay, today I'm a celebrity wife or a starred wife or whatever. But does that give you the right to really run me down and judge me
all the time?
All the time?
Yeah.
I mean, I may just not want to look a certain way. It's not in my control, Why do I have to go and lose weight just after I've had a baby? Who am I supposed to prove it to? Why am I answerable to anybody? If I have put on 10 kilos, so I have, so be it, Why is it that, oh my God, you have to get back into shape? Have you seen Shree? She's lost so much weight. She's also had a baby. Why are you comparing me? Why are you comparing? Shree is Shree.
Yeah.
She does whatever she wants to do. I do whatever I want to do,
Yeah.
Like my daughters have taught me this, you do you. That is now, all this wisdom is coming to me. But at that point of time, it was very difficult. And then again, I had a thyroid problem. So I would lose weight, I would gain weight.
Yo-yo.
Completely. So, and of course, trolls were like nasty to another level, and I felt upset, of course. I wouldn't say.
Did it affect your self-esteem?
Yes, it did. Of course, it did. And because I also come from a space where I was so well known in Bombay television circuit,
of course.
and I have done such great work. And my mother is the iconic Nilanjanaa Bhomik, and I take great pride in being her daughter. So I felt like people are so nasty. Can they get to this level? এত কিছু তখন সারা যদি বড় হতো তাহলে হয়তো I wouldn't have gone through what I went through. Because Sarah got trolled after doing the Dior show where they said that বাড়িতে খাবার খেতে দেয় না বাচ্চাটাকে. And really, really nasty things like,
I saw that.
Yeah, something about her having polio. Yeah. And so all that happened. So I'm saying that if Sarah was তখন বড়, she would have told me what she tells me today.
Now.
Like 20 years ago, that it's okay, mama. It's all right to be the way you are.
Absolutely.
So, and
you own it, whatever you are.
So even when I go out and if I'm dressing up, I'll call Sarah and Sarah, can I wear this? Should I wear this? And then I'll be like, no, I'm looking fat. I'm not looking like this. Now my double chin is not showing. I would be like that. And they said, we will stop. So conscious. So then they said, we will stop coming to your room. You have to love yourself, mama, the way you are. And that gave me so much confidence, and that made me feel so loved. Because Sarah just said one thing, that mama, don't wait for people to love you. You start loving yourself. Like I said, you do you. And like they said, you have to wear these glasses for the podcast. They're more excited.
Well, it is rather exciting. You really look good in them.
And like you said, slay, queen, slay, that is Zara's go-to
terminology.
Line. Terminology. And every time I'm stepping out, she's like, slay, queen, slay, and then they'll do this emoji.
The heart thing.
And then they'll do all this and a lot more,
Yeah.
So they have brought my self-confidence back, honestly.
One often hears about these little cliques of star wives, where you have a bunch of star wives who, party together. I mean, we've had Netflix shows on them, right? And they're a gang. You know,
Correct.
they party together, they go on yachts. I mean, of course, that's the Bollywood Star Wives Club. But here as well, you're very close to Shashwato's wife, for
Yes,
instance. You know,
yes.
she's a good friend of yours.
And so is Asia.
So is Asia.
Yeah.
So you are in that coterie,
Correct.
so to speak, that very A-list, you know, very sort of, I would
Right.
think, you know, the who's who kind of coterie. A lot of women vie to be in that coterie. Was there pressure from those quarters? Did you ever find yourself being like sort of feeling I'm not talking about these two friends in particular, but you know, when you're constantly, you know, you go to a premiere, you go to say a Pujo or Kichu Holo or Success Party, you know, your pictures are coming out with other star wives who might be slimmer, who may not have a double chin, who, you know, may not have a paunch, you know, all these things. Were you conscious of that?
So honestly, I lost my self-confidence. I did. I can't sit here and say, oh no, you know, I was very confident. No, I wasn't. I was completely broken. Yeah, and of course, these are friends of mine, but they've never put the pressure on me, and the pressure's never come from them, honestly.
Absolutely,
You know,
yeah,
they've always been very encouraging, and they were the happiest when I went back to work, in fact.
Right,
And they were like,
right.
this is what you do best, and you
Yeah,
must go back
yeah,
to work.
yeah.
But having said that, you know, there's so many things that one hears, and not only about like basically social media is far more active now.
Yeah.
Not even 10 years ago उतना तो था नहीं. But ये ज़रूर था that one would feel like, oh my God, okay, Shree is looking so good, na? She's doing something right.
Yeah.
So you start believing
Yeah,
that there's
yeah,
something
yeah.
wrong with you.
That there's something I'm not doing.
Right.
हाँ,
You
कुछ
know,
तो है.
कुछ तो है.
हाँ.
And then you start bringing it on yourself.
Negativity.
That you
Yeah.
feel like, oh, I'm not good enough. So this I am not good enough became my go-to. And that is something that I had to break out of.
Was it compounded because you weren't working and your identity was only as a Mrs. or a mom?
No, you know what, Srimoy? I started working. I did one of the first flagship shows for Star Jalsha called Ghosh and Company, which we
Right,
produced for
right,
Rituparna
right.
Ghosh. And then did a lot of work after that. So during that phase, it was more like I had already built my identity, you know. I was already a producer and I was running a successful show, and then my serials were doing very well and all of that. But at the same time, I was also, by then, mummy had started falling sick, you see. And she needed like a hip joint replacement and something or the other. She kept having falls.
And you took them in. I
Yeah.
think not many people know that you were a full-time primary caregiver.
Yes.
At a point when you had, you know, got your hands down and deep into this production company, and you were, as you're saying, producing successful shows, ideating, you know, doing all the fundraising and all of that. There was also a sick mother at home
Yes.
and a father.
Yes.
When did they move in with you, and what made you take them in?
So mummy and papa always wanted to move back to Kolkata.
Okay.
And mummy has a house in North Calcutta, Shithir Mode. And they moved and they stayed there. But then, you know, mummy had a fall one day and then she was not well. And I said, see, from south to north, if I have to go and fetch
Yeah.
y'all, it's very
It's not
difficult. It's not
practical.
practical. And then I forced them that, you know, and আমাদের বাড়ির উল্টো দিকে একটা ভাড়া বাড়িতে ওদের রাখলাম. So then I started looking after them. So with production and mummy's health, and that is the time that I decided that I have to quit now.
Again, one more time. One more time.
Yes. पहली बार किया था प्यार के लिए, बॉम्बे छोड़ के आ गई मैं कलकत्ता. I couldn't have at that point of time decided to go back to Bombay and do television again. Though I had the option, but
You had the offers,
I
Nilanjanaa.
had the offers, I had the option,
offers, yeah.
and but I spoke to mummy and mummy said don't do it because you know it's set up home.
She's always given you very practical advice.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
sort of absorbing that from our chat.
And the second time when I went back to work, when we first started the production house, that is when mummy said, I'll look after Sarah, you start working again. So that's when I started working. But this time when I saw mummy's health deteriorating and husband who's traveling, and because he by then had already started moving to Bombay and Hyderabad and these places. And Sarah was, you know, growing up and she was going to be she was in middle school. Zara was very young. I just had too much on my plate, you know. So I said, I can't do this. I can't do this multitasking
You chose
anymore.
another kind of love. Let's just put it like that.
Yes. And I just said that, okay, this is it. I'm shutting shop. And I shut shop means I shut shop completely. I sold all the cameras we had, edit setup and props and everything just overnight. I said, I'm not going back to work. And that was a decision made. And so many friends and even co-producers, they all called up and said, don't shut shop like this. Yeah? I mean, why are you shutting your production house? You know, we'll work together. You say now whatever support you need. I said, no. This no one can help me with, because this is something that I have to.
It's your journey.
It is my journey. And if you ask me, do I have any regrets? No, I don't have any regrets. The first time when I gave up, do I have any regrets? No, I don't. Second time when I gave up, regrets? No regrets. I would do it again and again, every time given a choice. So, I'm very happy that Shree, I could do what I could do for my mother. A lot of people can't do that. I feel privileged.
Me too. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I feel privileged that I could serve my mother, look after her, be her primary caregiver. Of course, those are also times, like, you know, coming back to the fact that then you have to make a social appearance.
Yeah.
When you know a mother who is so unwell,
Dying,
and has had a fall, has had stitches,
Yeah,
and evening you have to appear for a premiere.
Yeah.
You just put something together and
want
just show.
to,
And even if you
yeah.
don't want to, and say it's very important. Like, first of all, I don't go for film premieres.
I've seen that.
Yeah, I hardly go.
Is that a conscious choice?
Yes, it is a conscious choice, because I'll tell you what. I tell Srijit very openly, he laughs about it. I said, "Dak, তোর ছবি দেখলাম, আমার যদি ভালো না লাগে তোর মুখের উপর বলতে পারবো না."
Okay.
But আমি যদি টিকিট দিয়ে কিনে,
Like an audience.
Yes, and I believe in that, you know, that I want to buy the ticket, contribute to the, you know,
to the art, to the cause.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then call up and say, listen, I like this, or I didn't like this,
yeah,
didn't like it. So premieres are not my scene, honestly, and I've been for very few premieres, you know. For Sarah's Uma, of course, I went. That was very special. So even during that time, it was not important for me, you know, that okay, now mummy's just come back from the hospital, her medication, her this, that, whatever set. Oh, now I have to go for this. So just put something together and go. So I wasn't bothered about how I was looking.
And that's when you were being criticized.
Most.
You were being sort of, you know, scrutinized under a microscope.
Absolutely. It was like that.
I remember
and
that phase.
Because see, they also look at it that way, that, you know, oh my God, her husband is doing so well, and look at how he's looking. He's looking like $1 million. But look at the wife. Oh my God, what happened to her? You know, look at how she's looking. Today I can talk to you about it and tell you that, you know, that my mother was dying. Every day she was dying for the last 7 years. She's been bedridden, she's had Parkinson's, she had CKD. I know the insides of Fortis ICU like the back of my hand. I know each and every doctor in Fortis.
Exactly.
I've been there, done that. So that's not even a comparison. I mean, what have we been talking about? Like, you know, how I looked versus
Who cares?
Versus being a caregiver to my mother, I would choose not looking anyhow.
Exactly.
Looking anyhow and
Exactly.
just choosing my mother, my kids and my father.
Yeah.
So I have this defiance today, confidence, defiance you may call it, only because of Sarah and Zara.
Absolutely.
I couldn't have done it otherwise. I couldn't have.
They've been the wind beneath your wings.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's I mean, even when I spoke to you, not with such intimate depth, but on a phone call where we're not seeing each other, it was apparent. It was like so palpable, right? Now, I think a lot of that criticism, Nilanjanaa, also became more vociferous and strong because that was also the time when star wives were becoming a thing by themselves. They were becoming a brand, if not so much in Tollywood. I mean, if you look today at star wives like Meera Kapoor, right? She has a beauty line of her own, right? If you look at many other star wives, you know, like Gauri Khan, you know, she's got her interior designing business. You look at Suzanne, she had her, you know, jewelry business. I mean, of course, the outsiders and the ordinary common folk will say, you know, bored posh hai futani. Simple. You know? It's just the black money of the husbands, which they've opened up these businesses for the wives to keep them happy while they have, you know, they have the
But that could be far from the truth.
It could be far from the truth. Of
know,
course, your pressures were different because you're not just responsible for yourself, but you're also in a way responsible for somebody else's reputation. So it's like that's like a double whammy in a way. Did you feel that constantly?
No, honestly, I didn't feel that. It was it always boiled down to the fact that, see, like you mentioned the other star wives, right? So when I came back to work this time, I did it on my own, right? I run the production house, and
How did that happen? What made you do that?
That was again like, you know, Sarah and Zara wanted me to come back, and they said, listen, Mama, now you're grown up and you should work and whatever.
Get back.
Yeah, so I was pitching for a very small non-fiction show, and somebody like from Jalsha, they called me and they said, listen, we've been calling you for years. You said you're not going to work, now come, let's work together. And that's how Horoguri
It
Pais
clicked.
Hotel happened. And that's how I went back
Such
to.
a long running show.
Yes.
You must
Touch
be
wood.
so proud. Touch
Yes.
wood, touch wood. Yeah, touch wood.
Yes, it's been
Yeah.
2 years. We're almost reaching 700 episodes.
Wow.
So I tell the team we are 700 episodes young.
Young. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
yeah.
happened. And also the pressure of living up to being someone's wife. I mean, people look at it that way, media looks at it that way. I never looked at it that way, honestly. Because for me, it was like, what do I have to do for myself, for my health? Because I was, I was struggling with an autoimmune disease. I had thyroid. I had a plethora of hospitalizations. So obviously, I thought that if I have to look after my parents, I have to first look
Yeah,
after myself.
yeah. You
So
have to
that
self-care.
became, self-care became my primary concern. And that self-care is what led to me looking better, feeling better, backed by the support of my daughters, constantly telling me that you're looking great, it's okay, mama, do this, do that, helping me choose clothes. And, that made the turnaround for me. And like you said, a comeback. This is my third comeback.
It's your third comeback.
Yeah, now I'm not going anywhere. This
Yeah,
is it.
this is
This
it.
is
Yeah,
it. This
yeah.
stays. So this the third comeback, and it has been a very, very successful one. And I'm so happy and I'm so proud. I have an incredible team. Horoguri Pais Hotel is like my family, and so is Star Jalsha. They've been so supportive. And my children, like I keep saying it at every award function, that they have a huge contribution. It's like their time that I'm taking away from them and giving it to work. But they do realize that, when I have long hours at work, or when I have a launch, I come home at 4 in the morning after the edit is over, or whole night shooting hoyeche and things. So first I would wake up in the morning and make sure Zara goes on time and everything. Zara tells me now, Mama, you sleep in because you've stayed up the whole
She's
night.
become the mum.
Yeah,
She's
Zara
become
has.
the mum.
Zara has.
But you've constantly had to multitask. I
Yes.
remember you telling me this very poignant, but at the same time very powerfully hard-hitting story of your mother being in the final stages of her earthly journey, and you having to go to school to attend a sports day.
Yes,
And
yes.
this is the thing that I always talk about in my community, where I have a lot of mothers who are doing this on their own, or women like me who are child free, but we are raising a child. This is the unpaid emotional labor of women. We never get paid for this. It's taken for granted. Oh, she can manage it all.
Yes.
Dashabhuja, she's like Ma Durga with her 10 hands. But what is the cost of that stress?
Yes.
What is the cost of that trauma and anxiety? Very few people even can sort of put the finger on the pulse. And you've gone through that.
Yes, and you can empathize with me.
Yeah, of course.
Because you've been there.
I've been there.
Yeah.
So,
Mummy passed away on the 17th of February this year. And that was Sarah's last sports day in school. She was in grade 12. And Sarah's been very, very good at sports, a champion every year, year after year. So 16th early morning, late, bhor ratri ar ki mummy ki bhorti kore elam, and I signed a bond which said that no, non-invasive, because she had specifically told me that I don't want to be on life support, and just let me go the way I want to. So obviously because of Parkinson's and a whole lot of things, she had stopped talking, right? But I had developed a way of communicating with her.
So beautiful.
So I would tell her, if supposing that, Mummy, সবাই অনেক বেশি কথা বলছে না, তোমার ভালো লাগছে না, তাহলে আমাকে চোখটা দুবার টিপ করো. So she would do. I was like, acha, everybody out of the room. Mummy doesn't want anybody here right now.
She wants to rest.
Yeah. So finally, I caught her hand and I said that, because she had multiple organ failure by then and all that was happening. So I just whispered in her ear. I said, do you want to go? And just for a moment, she opened her eyes and she just did this. And then I said, that was a sign. And I just told her, okay, go. Everyone's here for you. I told her that all your ancestors and everyone she's lost and everyone's here, just go peacefully. And then the Thakurin Naam that she used to take, I said it in her ear and everything. And I sat there for a long time just looking at her. that this is the mother who was so strong and single-handedly brought us up, because Papa was away at work and she moved from Kolkata to Bombay, and everything came
Everything
back.
changed
Yeah,
for
and
her.
everything just came back. You know, I've had 2 surgeries, and she's been there for both my pregnancies, my
The
surgeries.
whole life flashes in front of you.
Everything flashes in, and I'm just sitting, and then they're like, how long will you wait? If something changes, we'll let you know. I said, no, I want to sit. And I just kept looking at her, but there was nothing for me to do. I came back home, I had a shower. My father had no idea.
Oh, God.
Because I would keep taking mommy for checkups and all that. So he said, क्या हुआ? Mummy कहाँ है? I said, नहीं वो checkup ले लेके गई हूँ मैं. She'll be fine, don't worry. सब ठीक है ना? I said, हाँ सब ठीक है. And Papa had a spine surgery last year. Plus he was diagnosed with cirrhosis of liver, non-alcoholic. So he was going through his
own journey.
So
Yeah,
I didn't want to
yeah.
hassle him anymore. So I
Correct.
said, nothing has happened.
Yeah.
She's fine, just another regular
Yeah,
checkup.
yeah,
I had a
yeah.
bath and everything. And then Sarah said, where are you going? I said, I'm getting ready to go with you. She said, where? I said, for your sports day. And she said, Mama, please, yeah, don't do this. Nani's in the ICU. What is wrong with you? I
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
no. Nani would have wanted it because
Yeah.
mummy was a champion in Kuch Bihar sports day. बोलतो जे যখন sports day হতো rickshaw করে she would come back home with so many trophies when there was no
Okay.
space to
How lovely.
you know bring things back. So yeah, I went for Sarah's sports day, watched her march past, and all her classmates, the mums, we know each other since the kids were in
Of course,
pre-nursery,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So they all said, listen, we'll come with you to the hospital. I said, nobody come. I want to be alone. You know, this is something I really didn't want anybody to
Even
be there.
I didn't want anybody. I just, you know, there was a moment when I just wanted not even my dad, not even Geru.
No one.
I just wanted to be with my mom.
Yes, yes. So they fed me. I don't even remember vaguely. I think they gave me coffee and they gave
Something
me
to
a
eat.
muffin or something to eat because I had
Yeah.
not eaten.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I saw Sarah run her first 100 meters and winning a gold.
Wow.
And before that, I had called up the ICU. So they said, no, same situation, same
Orokomi.
condition and all that. Sarah gets her gold. I take a photograph. I get a call. That, ma'am, you must rush. And Fortress is kache chilo, Gitanjali Stadium.
That's
So it was
close
by.
Yeah.
So we went. Varis, who's here with me today, he was there. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
No,
This
I'm
is
sorry,
a-
but yeah, but. So I was telling Varis, Tatari chala, and I was screaming at him, and he also understood that the time had come for mommy, because I remember the last time we took her to the hospital, Varis is the one who was holding my mother. I didn't even get myself to hold her.
hold her. Yeah, yeah.
She had become so weak. He just carried mummy.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, he got her down and everything.
I know
Yeah.
know these moments, Nilanjanaa.
So then he was parking the car. He was taking it inside. I just opened the door to see the car was moving, and
you just got
I
out.
just
Yeah,
opened the
yeah.
door.
Same
He said,
thing
"Dee,
I
bhetar
did.
dhoka." I just opened the door and I ran, and there were people who were waiting for me to take me upstairs. Elevator. I said, "Forget the elevator." I just ran up the stairs. I ran, went into the ICU. It was like a movie scene, you know. I can't forget it because I just went and I said, "Bed number so and so, so and so." I just went like that, and so suddenly the doctor's like, "Can you just sit?" And I was like, why? I want to see my mother. You know, I was very agitated. I was
Yeah.
like, what do you mean? They've called me. I want to see my mother. And he just made me sit. He's saying, she just passed. So I sat down. I stood up. Again, I sat down and I'm thinking, what should I do now?
You're blank.
Yeah, I'm blank. I said I should cry. No? So I just didn't know what to do. And then they said, can we just give you some water? They gave
Right.
give me water. And my hands were trembling. I just couldn't
You're
handle
still trembling.
when you've seen someone suffer for so many years and
And you've taken care of them like a baby. So,
Yeah.
you know, when Ma's 1 month ceremony happened, we had a Upashana at
Yeah.
home. And, you know, I carried her photo and I put it on the bed and I was telling Geru that this is the way the last time she was able to walk. I had carried her like this. And she used to say, Aste dhar, you know,
Back
because
up.
she was in pain. Every part of her body used to ache. And I said, see, and at the end, I used to call her Motu, and because my mother was always a very chubby mom. I've never had a roga mother. But, you know, আমি মাকে tease করতাম, আমার মোটু বেবিকে নিয়ে যাচ্ছি, এই মোটু বেবি চলো, you know. So I know that feeling because, you know, at that time, your world has crashed.
Yeah.
But you have to be so functional.
Yeah.
There are things to do. There are processes, there are forms, there are certificates, there's a hearse to call, there's people to, you know, inform. But what you just want is to linger, you know, that moment with your mom. That's just that moment. I know, I mean, I've completely been there. But I mean, how impossibly heroic of you to watch your daughter win the gold, and she was running a marathon and so were you. It was a different love, it was a different marathon. You may ask me this question, which you haven't, that why did you call me for your show? You know, was it to get some likes and subscribers, because I've never given interviews, so therefore, you know, there'll be a surprise element. The reason for calling you, and I should say this on camera, because I thought Nilanjanaa is an embodiment of the Shree Shakti that we are celebrating, the Devi Diaries, you know, the campaign that we are pushing and celebrating all this month of October, where we have a Kali Devi, where we have a Durga Ma, where we have a, you know, a beautiful Malokhi, you know, where we are talking about women, you know, who could have stayed down in the dumps, who could have, you know, just disappeared, become invisible. That's what's expected of women, that when our wings are chopped, you know, when muck is thrown at us, become invisible. What you did, I thought, I don't know why no paper wrote about it. I mean, most of the media, unfortunately in the entertainment business today, you are in the entertainment business, I'll still say it, is all paid media. So there's no real good journalism coming out of lifestyle journalism anymore. That's one of the reasons I had quit. But that's another story. Why didn't anybody celebrate this comeback? Why didn't anybody see this comeback as a landmark role reversal for a woman who said, I'm not going to react to the things that are being said about my personal life. So tell us about your company, starting with the unique choice of name.
Okay, so first of all, coming back to where we started this conversation, this segment is that, like I maintained earlier also, and I will continue to maintain that I will never speak about my personal life.
Absolutely.
You know, and I have not done it ever, and I don't intend to. Because I just believe there's a private space which must be respected.
And it's yours.
And it's mine.
Yeah.
And I draw the line there. Coming back to the name of the company, it's called Nini Chini's Mama's Productions. Sarah's dark name is Nini. Zara's dark name is Chini, and I'm their mama. That's my Insta handle also, Nini Chini's mama. So I just thought, let me just do this, you know, it's fun. Like, you know, I thought of it like that. And so the tattoo that I have here, in fact, is the logo.
Yes,
you know,
of your company.
Yes, of my company.
Yeah, yeah.
So like you said, see, I don't think I'm extraordinary. There are millions of women like me out there who have gone through postpartum depression, who have, oh yeah, so coming back to that suicide thing that you spoke about,
Yeah,
I must clarify that we also spoke about the fact the autoimmune disease that I have is Crohn's. So that is the reason I was admitted. That's my discharge summary says it. And I'm okay about talking about it. You know, like I have Crohn's, I'm taking medication for thyroid. It's all right. I mean,
real women.
Yeah, I mean, in today's day and age, you can't judge somebody for having an autoimmune disease.
Absolutely.
You can't judge people for being, you know, thin, fat, or
putting
whatever.
on losing weight.
Putting on losing weight. So yes, from a point where I had postpartum depression after my first delivery, to gaining weight, dealing with thyroid, again losing weight, again having another baby, then coming back to work. Like, you know, this back and forth has taken a toll on my health. I will lie if I say it hasn't.
And your emotional well-being.
Most importantly, my emotional well-being, because I was seeing mummy die every day. So that was mentally very exhausting. So, you know, physically you can do so much more, but mentally when you're exhausted, just seeing that, you know, and you know that, okay, something would fall, and I was like, just wake up quickly. My file would be ready and there would be one set of clothes ready. I would just take mummy's file, wear the clothes, call Varis, let's go, Fortis. It was very mechanical, and it was just like autopilot. So last 7 years has been that for me, and I've not even been able to give Zara that much time, and they've understood that. You know, so this has been a remarkable journey because of all these experiences put together. Had I not gone through what I did with mummy, I couldn't have become so emotionally strong. If I hadn't gone through like leaving work, coming back, leaving work, coming back, I would stop believing in myself. So if at 49 I can come back and do this with my production house, I think it's never too late to start.
Absolutely. And there's no age for a comeback.
Absolutely. And I just would want to say this to every woman, and I tell my daughters that you may choose to stop working, but always do something which is only for yourself.
You told me this on the call.
Yes. You know, always do that. Because as caregivers, what happens is, you're someone's daughter, wife, mother, sister, हर कुछ बहुत सारे roles play करते हैं हम, but अपने बारे में भूल जाते हैं. So you know, what is it that drives you? What is it that you love doing? And this is a lesson I have only learned from Sarah. Not even Zara. Zara is very young.
She's young.
Young, much younger, and she gives me the other boost like Slay Queen and
So cute.
don't wear these glasses or use this lip tint, and you know she's on another tangent altogether. But Sarah is the old soul, and she said that, do you even know what all you've done? What? And she just ran me through the whole thing with Nani. She's seen Mummy. She was very close to Mummy. Mummy has actually brought up Sarah, and she said, "Mama, you did your best." And I'm so proud of you.
Gave it all.
You gave it all. I'm so proud of you. And every time when I go out, even today when I said I've reached, like when they reach somewhere, they message me, so I also have to message.
Yeah.
So I messaged her, reached. So she said, go for the kill.
Oh.
You know,
And you are. And you are.
So she always says that to me, that Mama, just go for it. You got this. And Zara says, Slay Queen. So I would say this to all the women out there. You all are Slay Queens. You got this. The universe has your back. All these affirmations that my daughters tell me is something that I would want to tell you. I would want to tell Geru. I would want to tell every girl child out there, that every woman out there, that you can, it's never too late to start. It's never too late to restart, reboot, reset.
As many times.
As many times, you know. It is really on you, and it's up to you. And don't give anybody the opportunity to judge you or to tell you otherwise or make you believe otherwise. That, oh my God, it's too late now. At this age, you're going to start a podcast, Shree? What are you thinking? Oh, Nilanjanaa, you're going to start working again? What are you thinking? So the world will always tell you you can't do it. But it's up to you. When you look at yourself in the mirror and you walk out of that door, you say to yourself that I got this. Like, see how we discussed openly and so candidly that today you've dressed up and you've showed up, so have I. My younger daughter has a tie she's struggling with. Your sister is unwell,
Down with fever.
Or the fact that we said that, you know, we just have to get up, dress up and show up.
And pretend it didn't happen.
Correct.
Absolutely.
At the same time, you go to bed crying, and so do I. We can't deal with the grief of our mothers. But does that show? It doesn't, because Shree comes across as such a strong woman, and so does Nilanjanaa. So are strong women not supposed to break inside? Why not? You could have a strong exterior. You could go out there and make the money and work very hard. But is it not okay to be broken inside?
Or vulnerable.
Or vulnerable. And why is it that a strong woman needs to seek help? Why doesn't it come naturally? Why don't people reach out to you, Shree? Why? Why do you think? It's because they assume she's got it all. She's got it all sorted. But little do they know that Shree also needs that, okay, listen, can I help you with this? You don't look into this, I got this for you. So that is something that strong women syndrome. Wo to hai.
I think with the serials that you're front-ending and your company is producing, you're trying to say something different. But obviously the medium or the Lakshman Rekhas are drawn. Within that, how do you choose a story? What is it that, you know, makes you choose a story and say that, okay, this story, like Anundi's story for instance, is going to be a story of empowerment, but probably told through a conventional lens. Kintu tar struggle, tar juddho, how this girl, you know, came up the ranks, how she influenced other women. She formed a sisterhood in a sense. How do you choose these stories, and how hard is it to operate in this sort of domain?
I don't know if I'll agree with you completely.
Right.
Because I know a lot of mothers, sisters, housewives, even men watch TV.
Absolutely.
And Bengali content is so rich that there are other GCs like, you know, like adapting Bengali shows in other languages, you know. So see, coming back to the fact that is it regressive? Maybe some of the shows are, and maybe some content is, but do people not sample that? Of course they do.
Of course they do.
So then comes the question, then why do you want to not change the way people think and all? So the onus is not only on television, the onus is also on social media, the onus is also on films, OTT, a lot of things. That's another discussion altogether. But coming back to this, I just believe I love television. It's not only my bread and butter. I believe my unit is my family, you know. There are like, say, if there are 100 people working in one unit, you can imagine how many families are working.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's a daily soap. So it's like they go to work every day. They know at the end of the month, কারোর বাড়ির ইএমআই, কারো সাইকেলের ইএমআই, কারো স্কুটির ইএমআই, কারো মার্সিডিজের ইএমআই, কিন্তু সবাই একটা কিছু পে করছে ওটা দিয়ে, and they all are, somebody is paying school fees, somebody is paying, so they're so happily they come and say, Didi, you know what, I got the scooty at EMI, you know, so that, so I'm saying my idea of television is very simple, that I obviously love the medium, I'm comfortable in it, and I know my job somewhat, somehow I've managed to know my job.
Of course you do.
So when I started with the Horoguri Pice Hotel, it was a collaboration with Star Jalsha. And they came up with this, that let's do something, you know, which is about a supportive husband and everything. Because even Tomaya Mai Mile, the show that I had done, which was an adaptation of the Hindi show Diya Aur Bati Hum.
Yes. Yes.
And Tomaya Mai Mile ran for almost 1,000 episodes.
Okay.
So that was the main story, was about a supportive husband.
Okay.
So I just thought that was very relevant. And season 1 of Horogori, Shankar, the husband, was a supportive husband.
You said that in your award.
Yes,
acceptance,
and he supported the wife to become an IPS officer and whatever. You know, like he, very small instances, he would say, বাড়িতে হয়তো মা ঝামেলা করলো যে বাড়ির বউকে পাড়ার লোকেরা বলেছে বাড়ির বউ শাড়ি না পরে সালোয়ার কামিজ পরে হোম ডেলিভারি করতে গেছে. So then he would turn around and say that, defend her. And say that if my sister can wear it, why not her? So these are the things we've spoken about in Horogori. We've also spoken about things like, you know, সে হাউসওয়াইফ, ঠিক আছে, বাড়ির হাতের খরচা কিছু লাগলে দিয়ে দেবো, হাত খরচা কি দরকার. So when the heroine stands up against the main antagonist and she says there are a lot of things we can't talk to you about, and one of them is sanitary napkin, and he's like, you can't talk to me like this. Why? That's the most natural thing. So then this is not regressive, this is progressive. So the way you say it, the content may come across as regressive, but you are actually slowly and steadily changing the mindset of the audience. And Horogori has been able to do that.
Yeah, it has an immense following.
Yes. And with Anundi, coming to Anundi, which I'm doing, this is my first show for Zee Bangla, and I'm extremely happy to collaborate with them. This was, the main idea came from Zee Bangla. And then we developed it in such a way, and it was like, it cannot be a story about one girl's empowerment. You know, that it is very selfish, it's very self-centered. What happens if she says, like you said, let's create a sisterhood?
Right.
So everybody has something that they have left behind or forgotten about themselves. So it's about
that
push for Anundi pushing each character, female character, to find their true calling. You know, like what is it that you love doing? Like, go back to it. I'm there for you. We have each other's back. So that is how Anundi is set apart.
What are you looking forward to in your 50s? And do you get that all the time, that you don't look like a 50-year-old to be 50-year-old?
I get it all the time, but like you also mentioned, I mean, how is should a conventional 50-year-old look? So yeah, I'll be 50 next year in Feb. So I said it. My friends are going to hate me for it, because most of my batchmates are like, listen, yaar, apna real age kyun bolti hai? Phir hamara age pata chal jata hai. So what am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to loving myself some more. Yes, I am. And I am also looking forward to taking a lot of trips with my daughters.
How lovely.
Taking a lot of holidays with them, making memories with them, because Sarah will fly the nest very soon, and she'll move to another city. So there's very little time that we'll get as a family together. So I want to spend as much time as I can with them. And make every moment, every experience count. Because I just feel that I've lost out so much this year, especially with mummy's passing away, that when I look back, I do have some regrets, that I wish I could have done this for her, I wish I could have done that for her.
Those niggling little regrets.
I'm sure you also have
of course,
that.
100%.
But we did what we did, and whatever we did,
our best.
Yeah, our best. So yeah, I want to live each moment to the fullest, and I want to heal myself more and love myself more, so that see, Shree, there are days that, like, you know, I'm very strong and I can show up, and there are days that I break down and I'm very vulnerable, and I'm not okay, and I don't want to go out.
It's okay to not be okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And why should you be judged for that, you know? And why should it be that, oh, Shree always has to be strong. She has to bring her A game to the table every day. I'm sorry, that's
not
unreal.
happening.
Not happening.
Not
I mean,
happening,
you're just,
boss.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a reality you're showing the world, which is not true.
No, it's not.
It is all make-believe.
And I also think, you know, it's this model of strength that we should stop showing our daughters.
Correct.
That, you know, you're dying, but you still have to, you know, put on the grease paint. No. If you're sick, you're sick. You take a day off.
Yes.
You pause.
Yes.
I think to make it permissible for women to pause is such a life-changing,
Absolutely.
it's
My therapist said
miraculous.
something fabulous to
Yeah.
me. So I said, no, but when this happened with mummy got hospitalized, and I was like really howling when she was
Yes.
ICU and everything. And I broke down one day, and Zara got very disturbed seeing me cry because I didn't know if mummy was coming back.
Right.
But that time she came
She
back.
returned.
She kept doing this, and I said, my God, you love doing this. You're a drama queen.
Yeah.
You want to keep going in, coming out,
Coming
and all
back,
that.
yeah.
So I would make a joke of it with her. So Zara got very upset, and I told my therapist, I shouldn't have cried in front of her. I'm feeling so bad. She's saying, why, Nilanjana? Why do you want to show her that you're perfect? Why don't you
Exactly.
want to let her see and experience that my mother is breaking down because her mother is unwell?
Yeah.
It is okay.
human.
It's human.
Yeah.
So that's when I told Zara that, there will be days that mama will cry and miss Nani. Yeah. And you have to be strong. And there will be days that you will cry. And mama will be strong. Or there will be days when we both will cry. And then we both have to try to be strong.
And there's always Netflix and chill and ice cream.
So we
and
did
makeup.
that. Oh my God, we did that. We had like a binge pizza and
I do
ice
that
cream
with
night.
Deru.
And because she couldn't go to school today because of her sty and everything, so we stayed up late. And I was like, okay, let's do this together and all that.
Yeah.
So these are not the small joys. These are the joys of life.
Right. My last question to you is one which I didn't prepare for, and I sort of it emanates from this very sort of touching, at the same time powerful, insightful conversation. All of your Instagram now is about Sarah. Do you feel that that purpose will then be lost again? Do you feel then that there will be that void again? Do you feel that there will be again a chauraha in your life when you will be forced to let go? Do you fear these things? That are you scared of losing yourself in the role of a mother? Because I think all these roles, Nilanjana, that women play, daughter, wife, I have not played that role, but I've been a partner to some men, mother, all these roles take a lot out of us,
They do.
They do. They take a lot out of us. They demand a lot of us. Do you feel that somewhere again, when the children fly the nest, you are going to feel that tinge of regret, that again that you'll come to that chauraha where there'll be that vacuum again? Do you fear that?
No, I'll lie to you if I say that I don't fear that.
Yes,
I will
because
lie
I
to
fear
you.
that.
Yes, because for me, my world revolves around my daughters.
I've seen that.
Yes, and I don't think that's going to change, Shree, come what may. No matter how bad, empty I feel, or the void that I'll feel when Sarah leaves and moves to another city, or when Zara moves, or whatever, I'll have to find myself again. But in this process, what I have learned is I don't have to lose myself to center my life around them.
Correct.
That is a lesson
You
I have learned.
can balance both.
I can balance both. So there are
That's
days that
lovely.
I have taken time out for myself now, and I do it.
And you recharge.
Yes, and this is something that I'm doing for myself, Shree.
That is so beautiful.
So yeah, so
I think endorsing ourselves is so important
Very
as
important,
women.
yeah.
We don't do it enough.
yeah, and I mean, why can't we take a compliment if someone tells you you're looking lovely? What are you saying? I've put on weight.
Yeah,
Oh
immediately.
no, immediately. Oh, I've lost weight. Oh my God, I've not done anything to my. Why? Just say
Own
thank
it.
you, own it, and say thank you so much. Because saying thank you would mean that, oh my God, look at her pride.
And you're acknowledging it.
Yeah, no, but if now if people say thank you, फिर उनको लगेगा कि अच्छा देखो आ तो अहंकार घमंडी है कि उसको लगता है कि बहुत beautiful है. So that is also a thing. So yeah, it is.
Are you
what is.
open to offers in movies and OTTs? Because when I see you and I see your expressiveness and your newly recharged Slay Queen avatar, I almost feel like, why isn't she back on the screen herself? I mean, have you thought about it?
So I've had friends in Bombay
Huh.
who work with different OTT platforms, and they have reached out to me. It's not like they haven't, but I have my hands full with production work and with Sarah and all of that. But you never know. If something good comes up, I will definitely take it up, because acting I loved.
Yeah.
It was my first love.
Yeah.
So there's never say
maybe
never.
a role comes across that fits
Which
your
is interesting, I
mindset.
would, yes, I would.
I think if, I'm sure directors all over the country at least are watching, please don't let this, talent go to waste, and, let her add another feather to her cap. All of us, we wear so many hats.
Yes.
I think it's been a marvelous conversation, straight up. I think we've had it straight up like never before. I have hoped that the Devi Diaries have made us come face to face with women of substance. And I know that's a very cliched, very ad campaigny kind of word. But Nilanjana's story, like I said, the reason I reached out to you was because this is the story of not just a mother, but it's also the story of the woman in the mother, the woman in the daughter, the woman in the wife, the woman in the girl once, the woman that she was going to become. And I think womanhood is a replenishable, rechargeable entity.
Yes.
And you prove that so beautifully. So I think, the message that you're giving out for women, I think is so strong, Nilanjana, more self-love. I'm sure you're going to show yourself a lot more love, and that shows on you too.
And
right?
patience, most importantly, let's be patient with ourselves. For every woman to love herself is not easy. It wasn't easy for me to love myself. It was a journey, and I'm still work in progress. But be patient with yourself. Don't be hard on yourself or harsh on yourself that I'm not good enough or I'm not doing enough or when will it be enough. Because those are standards set by other people or society around you, or you get into comparison mode. Just don't. You just up your game. You just look at how far you've come. If I look at myself 6 months ago and I look at myself now, I'm very proud of myself.
Right.
So I look at it that way. And I mean, it's cliche again that, don't compare yourself to anybody else. But truly, yeah, because, comparison is the thief of joy. Because the minute I start comparing my life to yours, I'll be like, oh my God, Shree is so sorted and look at her the way she is. But little do I know what's going on with Shree life.
Yeah.
I'm only seeing what she's showing me.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, just
be kind to yourself.
be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Very, very important to be kind to yourself.
Right.
And like Sarah and Zara say, you do you.
Yeah. Well, you do you, and we do us as women,
Yes.
trying to stand up for one another, which has been the ethos of Devi Diaries. Thank you for watching. We started with Ghar Ki Lakshmi, but I, being a student of history, have always been an admirer of another kind of Lakshmi, the Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi.
Yes.
Who single-handedly took on the enemy and rode a horse and went into war and didn't look back. I hope you never have to look back, Nilanjana. And I hope when you do, you find your mother's warm embrace and you find your Mumbai memories and the scent of that last handshake with your mother and the warm hugs from your beautiful daughters. God bless you, and I wish you all the best. Rock it in television, prove the Shree is wrong, that it's not a regressive medium, that ekhane poriborton asche.
Ekdom.
So on that note, thank you so much for watching this absolutely soul-stirring conversation that I've had and enjoyed with Nilanjana, only Nilanjana. Let's get that clear on the table straight up. And if you've liked the episode, do subscribe to the channel, share away and click on the bell icon. Thank you. Until next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.